Hello YouTube, this is my review of the Sony PlayStation Headset Companion App, and I have the Sony PlayStation Gold Wireless Headset, which is the one I'm choosing in the middle. And when you open up the app, you choose your headset, and then you have a few options of what type of sound preference you want. So each of these games on the right hand side you'll see have so-called custom-made settings made by the producers of the game. And a lot of you play Call of Duty or Black Ops 3, and unfortunately Black Ops 3 doesn't have its own sound setting, but there is a shooter category, which I'm going to choose, and once you choose that category, you have it loaded onto that little square, and then you hit upload, and when it says it'll put it onto your setting 2 on your headset. So my headset has an off mode, a 1, and a 2. Usually I just go to 1. 1 is your default audio, but 2 is going to be whatever you load onto that second preference. So if you play a different game such as Infamous Second Son, you can load that onto it. And so I put that on, and now I'm going into Black Ops 3, and I'm going to test it on setting 1, which is the default audio, and then I'm going to test it on setting 2, which is the new Shooter Preference Companion App audio setting. And I'll tell you right now, my conclusions of this test is that there's absolutely no difference. There isn't a Black Ops 3 optimized sound, so there's really no point. And even if there was, I feel like this is just an add-on they put onto the end of this headphone just to make it seem like a better deal. So I think the companion app really isn't something that you should really worry about or lose sleep over or worry about which setting you have or try and tinker with it too much, because at the end of the day, you're going to hear basically the same thing. It won't make you any better as a player. You won't be able to hear any more footsteps, and I'll just explain what I hear. I hear the same footsteps. I have dead silence on here, and I know that there's people over by that wall. I can hear it perfectly fine with my regular normal audio setting. And so what I'm going to do is, actually my first game of Search and Destroy on Black Ops 3. I never played it on this game yet, but I played a lot in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Original and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, so I kind of understand the flow and how people play differently. And you can see I do just as fine without it. And that is about the end of this round. And so the next round, we're going to switch it to the second audio preference, which was the shooter optimization that they had on there. Now that shooter optimization wasn't specified for any game, but it looked like it was a monster out of Killzone on the cover of it. But when I switched it over, basically what happens if you switch it over mid-game, the audio will cut out for a second and then it will flip back on. And when that audio flipped back on for me, I basically heard the same thing. I heard the same sounds, effects were the same volume, there was no bass or treble change that I could really notice. I could hear footsteps just as well. So it seems to me like this is really not worth your time, and you see I do just as well without as I do with it. Do the YY reload, caught him, and then I see on the map and I hear him, and that's it. Nothing really much else I can say. The companion app is a cool side deal to optimize your game, whether it be a single-player game such as The Last of Us or another game like Uncharted series. And I mean, maybe in those games it might work, but at least from a shooter standpoint in Black Ops 3, there isn't really something that you should really be worrying about. I would just suggest going on the regular settings, and the only things I would tinker are actually in the Black Ops 3 audio settings in the game, which I made a video about, and you can check it out in the link right here. Thank you very much. Bye.